And I'm back in the studio where we'll be having a chat with Daniel Ukwu, Daniel Ukwu Leadership Foundation executive um, in the studio right now. Mr. Leadership, nice to have you on Signature Evening.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Right about now, it appears as if the tension in the Labour Party is escalating, what with the national chairman of the Nigerian Labour Congress asking the Labour officers nationwide to take over all offices. I don't know why he would think in that direction.
Well, for me, I'm not surprised. You know, in this part of the world, we always believe in trying to pull one another down. And then, if, for my own thinking, why the Supreme Court has given their judgment, all these people are looking away just to see that, the target is just one man. Because they know that if the man happens to have opportunity to come on board again, that people are likely to follow him. So they are doing everything to make sure that that effort is thwarted. But what is paining me, or my concern, that each time we've been crying that leadership is our problem, but when it's time for, when there's opportunity to correct that leadership, you see, they always maneuver left and right, and at the end of the day, we end up doing the wrong thing. So, and then you find out that also in this part of the world, personal interest takes more. Nobody has even national interest. Nobody. Everything is about personal interest. What is my personal interest? What is my personal interest? What is my and at the end of the day, we are back to square one. Because if you say that leadership is our problem, I think our hands should be on deck to see how we can get a good person or a good leader in place. Because without getting good leader in place, well, the hardship we are crying today will either continue or it will increase. So, but here we are. Everything is being manipulated. Everything is being... for me, I would say that it's a bit intentional, just to see that Labour Party is totally disorganized right from the base. That's my own assumption. It's possible what I'm saying might be wrong.
Is this like a form, is this particular action not going to undermine the democratic process?
Well, in Nigeria, I don't think, you see, we talk about democratic, or we are practicing democracy, but you find out that in real sense, I don't see that democracy in place. I think we have more of autocratic whatever than the democracy. Because if you watch what is going on in Rivers State, would you say it's the democracy? Where one person is trying to say that is without him, the state, nothing will happen in the state. Where one person will now be somewhere and dictating what is happening. I mean, we are just talking about democracy with our mouth, but in reality, I don't think it's on the ground.
Now, before all of this, it's common knowledge that NLC, the union, the organization, founded the Labour Party. And I want to believe that one of their reasons is to help foster democracy, to ensure that we practice the kind of democracy that is modeled after wherever we have copied ours from. And much was not known about Labour Party as a political party up until the wave that Peter Obi, raised with his campaign in 2022-2023, and the aftermath. So the Labour Party became something of worth in the political corridor. Now, the question really is, what are those grievances? I could remember that there was a time when all of this Abure and Apapa matter was raging, that NLC delved into the matter, claiming ownership of the party and all of those. Should we not have a kind of separation between the union movement and the political party level. Should it not be that way?
Yes, that's what it's supposed to be. Because I found out that the party has its own agenda, the labor has its own agenda. But the issue is just like what you said now, and that's why leadership is a very, well, it was just because P2B used that platform to campaign, and that's why the popularity came on board. And that's why we are even talking about Labour Party today. Without him using that platform to campaign, I don't think nobody will know about anything Labour Party. So that shows you that leadership, like I always say, that is a serious business. It's just because he came on board and they're using that, and that's why this we are talking about Labour Party. Before, nobody knew about a Labour Party. Just because
now that NLC is planning to take over all the Labour offices nationwide, is there a reason? Are they taking sides?
No, the issue that what is like a game. They are trying to make it using courts to prolong the discussion, because it's not going to be as easy.
By they, who are you referring to?
I mean the Labour Party, the NLC. So they want it to drag, because they have to go to court, and the court will keep so that, and before you know it, 2027 would have come and gone. It's a strategy. For me, it's a strategy.
Are you saying that NLC wouldn't want the party they founded to thrive?
Well, that's an assumption, but Nigeria.
I think that's the way you're sounding. That's what I'm picking from what you're saying.
If you see all this thing, somebody can somewhere at the background, from behind, be trying to see that this issue is prolonged, so that it's like, when you want to destabilize something, they know that P2B is a force, and then if he comes on board now, that people are likely to follow him. So they are looking a way to that's the way I'm seeing it.
Okay, your point is that there is an external interference.
Of course, there's an underground to see that Labour Party is disorganized from the, because the level of our vindictiveness in this country is very high. Because when they see that you are likely to do well, all they are looking at, what are you not doing? How can they pull you down? We can't give credit to whom credit is due. These are one of our major problems. Even in offices, if somebody is bright, instead of seeing how you can now, unlike developed countries, when they know that you are bright or you are a bright student, they look at how can they, give you opportunity. But here, they are trying they'll be looking for loophole on how to nail you, so that they will now bury that your talent. That's my own understanding.
So what legal or constitutional authority does the Nigerian Labour Congress have for them to even be interfere in the internal party crisis of Labour Party?
They believe that since you say it's under Labour Party, so they are just capitalizing on that. It's a game. As far as I'm concerned, it's a game they are trying to play. But whether that game, because this now will now go to court, and court will keep on deleting it and all. But the issue that I believe, even if P2B decide to step out of Labour Party and enter another party, people will still follow him, because nobody is talking about Labour Party as a party. People are just interested in the man, in P2B as an individual. So if he decides to move out of Labour Party and join another party, then that of Labour Party will be just a closed issue.
Now, I know you have said in passing that is a grand plan to ensure that the party is not together enough to
destabilize them. Use the language, proper language.
Okay, that will be your language. But I don't know if it's going to have a long-term effect on the party or not, or will all of this be resolved before 2027?
That's what I'm saying, that it's going to be a prolonged issue. It's going to be dragged left and right. But as far as I'm concerned, you see, it may not have. The problem that if P2B decides to stay and then campaign again, people will still follow him because...
what is not clear here is if the leadership of NLC is taking sides in this leadership tussle in Labour Party, or what you have said, if they want to destabilize the party, something is not very, very clear. If because you are...
no, they said they'll be taking over their offices.
Offices nationwide.
When somebody takes over your offices, what does it mean? Is it not to shut you down?
Yes.
If somebody comes to Signature and says he's taking over Signature or this office where we are now, and somebody is taking it over, will you have access to start operating? I think it's as simple as that. So they want to see it as a way of, it's like a game they are trying to play, but I don't know how they will succeed.
Ahead of the future.
Ahead of
of the 2027 elections.
Yes.
What is the potential political consequences of this rift between NLC and Labour Party?
The consequences is that, but the issue that, as far as I'm concerned, you see, is the man at the center that will be, if he decides to step out of Labour Party, I think that issue should rest on its own. But the issue, I don't know the implication.
Your point is that P2B is actually the live wire
of Labour Party.
Of course. Wow. Of course. And that's why when we say that leadership is a very serious issue, that's exactly, without him now, nobody is talking about Labour. And if he decides to join another party or whatever, it's as good as close
for Labour Party
transaction. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because can they produce another person on the name of, that's coming in the name of Labour Party to campaign? No.
Now, from this to what next? I already mentioned that this is not the very first step that NLC leadership has taken regarding this crisis in Labour Party. Previously, they had wanted to take over when they said, after all, we founded this party. And now they are taking over all their offices, headquarters nationwide, which happens to be the base offices for Labour Party everywhere else. Because like you was said, and I think it's established, the party has no structure, no grassroots structure. Now, from this to where next? Because if NLC takes over all of the offices, what next should we expect for Labour Party?
No, the structure they are talking about that is being in place is like if you talk of PDP, you now say that they have a structure. Maybe if you talk of APC that is on board, you now say they have on structure. The structures are the human being, maybe the governors, the Senate, those in House of Assembly, and those in. I think that's the structure that is on the ground. But you find out that with or not with, because the focus is one person. If he decides to continue with Labour Party, well, I think people will still vote for him, whatever that is happening. And if he decides to move to another party, I think people will also, because for now, I've not seen any person that will now say that when it comes to, it just like 2023 was just, gamble. So instead of that, I've not seen any person now that that will now say that people will willingly follow the way they followed P2B 2023. I've not seen the person now. Except they are trying to, in this part of the world, what I understood in the Nigeria election, yet you people can go and vote, but when the figures are being collected, somebody can, instead of 1,000, he decide to put 100,000, and that's where the game is. They are not interested whether you vote or you didn't vote, but those who who will do the collection, and that's where they are banking on how to manipulate, and that's why you see some of this noise they are making.
Now, this issue, is it also, I'm looking at it from the angle of the NLC trying to, establish leadership, authority over the party. Leadership here, should a labor union have interference in a political party? That's being partisan, don't you think?
Well, they believe that they are using their name, Labour Party, that and they may be using their office. So that's why they are talking of
taking over
their maybe those offices, because they know that P2B has no, maybe or a Labour Party does not have its own office, so they are
with that does it mean they are parties, that they are being political? Because that's not what they tell us.
It's not being political. Before there's an agreement to move on that. I believe there's an agreement, established agreement.
They registered the party. NLC registered the party.
So they are yes. But now I'm seeing it as being people are trying to use that to say that it's trying to destabilize the P2B as a person, as his Labour Party, and you look at from most people are just decamping or going back to PDP, even those that.
There's a fresh insight, Dan. You're saying that all of this tussle is about the man P2B, the candidate of Labour Party.
I don't know whether it's about P2B, but all I know is about to destabilize Labour Party.
Okay.
It's about Labour Party.
Now you said you said I need to take you on. You said that if the man P2B leaves the party, all of this would have stopped.
Of course, now.
And then you said something again that if he emerges the flag bearer of the party, people will still vote him.
Of course.
Now, what if there are factions, existing factions up until 2027, when the election will happen, and probably different factions produces candidates, flag bearers, and then it becomes a matter for litigation? How then would he pull through?
No matter the candidate they produce, let's say, what do you mean that maybe Labour Party now having maybe let's assume they have 3 presidential candidates? Is that not what you're saying? Even if they have that presidential candidate, there's always one person that is standing out among all those. You see, party now it's not about people don't vote about party. It's the person that is leading them. So what I'm saying that everything is around P2B. So even if they say they are going to produce, of course, if they produce another presidential candidate, they are just doing this just to make noise. Do you understand? But people will still vote. But the issue that when the background is not solid, and that's where the problem comes in.
Okay, then looking forward, if this takeover succeeds, what do you think will be the fate between the relationship of Labour Party, not just Labour Party, other political parties, and the NLC as well? When
you talk of succeeding, there's nothing like succeeding. It's just like a tithes. They are just using it to buy time, and then there's nothing, because there's an agreement that was reached. They are just using it to see how they can. It's like trying to destabilize the party internal, or just to see that they create problem within the Labour Party. They are nothing like it's not going to succeed now because there's an agreement and it's going to drag, going to court, going to this one, and Nigeria court now. So that's it's just like this chairmanship now that has been going to dragging this out. This one is now saying this one, now saying this one, and then maybe they are looking at a situation whereby this two chairman will give away, so that they now have another chairman they will now present. I think that's from my own understanding.
Okay, as we begin to conclude, I see the man Joe Ajaero, NLC national president, saying that the position of NLC is that what's the name of the man that the party that is still Abure. That Abure should stop carrying himself on as the chairman of the Labour Party. Do you think it's because he's in, that's the position of the leadership of NLC, is that is on the same side with Abia State Governor Alex Otti and the 2023 presidential flag bearer of the party, Peter Obi? Are you saying that he is on the same path with them, with his body language?
You mean the
Joe Ajaero?
Like I said, this is like a game. They are trying to see how they can. They are not. I think every person is on his own, playing his own wing. So they are not because they are not. Every person actually is playing his own wing. Abu is playing his own, and then
the only man that seems to have rested is our Papa. We have not had.
Even our Papa, you watch what that guy said, and he's also seeing the Supreme Court as also favoring him or something like that. You see, it's like a game. Every person is just claiming. But
the Supreme Court's verdict is that they should go back home and settle their differences. That it is internal party crisis, and that the court should not get involved.
Of course.
All the while, the courts were involved up until the Supreme Court. So how come other courts, other legal persons were not aware that the courts should not intervene in internal party crisis until it gets to the Apex Court?
No, it's not that they are not aware, but there's no way, because since they've started this, you see, this is a process. It's just like when maybe somebody is behind, trying to continue. Let's see how we can now, whether he achieves what he wants to achieve or he doesn't want to achieve. It's like Nigeria, we're good at playing such a negative game. So I'll call it a negative game. Yes.
Mr. Leadership, how best can this leadership crisis in Labour Party and with NLC, that's Labour Party and NLC, how best can it be resolved? Bring also into the equation the matter that was just handled by Supreme Court that brought this matter in-house to the point that NLC has obviously taken their stand. How best can it be resolved?
Well, it's still human beings are funny. At times you may not know what is driving them or what is the motive. But then, like I said, everything is centered on one man. And that man is the strong hold, because all this one, they are claiming this one. Assuming if he decides to say, okay, I'm done with the Labour Party. You see, some of these cases will die a natural death.
And if he decides to continue with the party, it will mean that crisis will have to be resolved before 2027.
Whether it's resolved or is not resolved, but the issue that when there is disunity, it's good, so that when there is a teamwork in what is going on, it will be better. But whether it's resolved or not, he will still be the presidential flag bearer. But the issue that you see, when there's disunity, when this one is going left, this one is going right, it may not give the party solid campaign strategy.
What would you suggest they do to resolve the crisis? I'm still on the question.
You know, this is politics, and it's like a game. They have to find a way, try how they can now, because the issue now, the main issue now is this Abure issue. Do you understand? Trying to drag. There's no problem that has no solution. I may not know what is the solution, but there's no problem on earth that has no solution.
But you believe that this can be resolved?
Yes, it can be resolved.
Or are you advocating that people finds himself another party?
Well, if he decide, because I think what he might be looking at, how can he get where he can now get a coalition? Because if he comes as a Labour Party entity, well, he's not going to, because he's not going to make. But if there's a coalition, it's just like before. You know, when we have PDP and the way the APC came on board, you know, they have some backing, they have some, you know, connection. So with that, but if he comes as a Labour Party, he may not make much impact.
Okay.
No matter how people try to follow him, because, you know, while you are following him as a person, other people are doing the strategy, doing the background, doing this one. So it might not favor him much. But the best thing is to see how you can. You know, politics is a game. But
do you think that NLC will succeed with what they want to do, taking over all security?
They will not succeed, but what they are going to do is to create crisis. Already the crisis have started.
Who created the crisis? Is it the Labour Party, the NLC, or players, or key holders, stakeholders, rather?
Saying that they will take over the Labour Party.
It's another angle of crisis.
Yes, it's another crisis, and it's because of that it has become an issue. It's just because of that statement that NLC said that they are taking over the. That's why it has become an issue now. Otherwise, before it wasn't an issue. This court case has been going on, and then because 2027 is also coming on board, so that's why it's like, why is it now that there's, you know, all this is a political game.
All right, thank you very much, Dan Ukwu, Daniel of Daniel Ukwu Leadership Foundation, on the subject matter NLC orders takeover of Labour Party offices nationwide. Thank you for being with us on Signature Evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you very much.
Signature TV. News in your pocket.